Hi everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you all are great. Today we will have adverbs that are. So first you have to log in using the a+then.com. Click on your name, move on to language at the grade 3. Chapters adverbs to compare and lesson is use adverbs to compare. Alright, so we have you can use verbs to compare actions. So some adverbs are used to compare actions. We have comparative adverb and superlative adverbs. These are two adverbs that we have, and these adverbs are used to compare. Alright, so first of all, the comparative adverb compares two actions, how two actions are done. So comparative has two, let's say between two. Okay, so that's it for the comparative adverb. It compares between two actions and how they are done. And then for the superlative, it compares how more than two actions are done. All right, so it's comparing like a larger group, and then the comparative is just comparing between you and I, for example, just two, and superlative will compare more than two, so comparing like a huge number, larger number. Okay, for adverbs that have one syllable, add er. So for the adverbs with the one syllable, you add er to make the comparative adverb, and then est to make the superlative. So if the adverb has just one syllable, for comparative you make it er, and then for superlative you add est. All right, just how we have over here: base, comparative, and then superlative. So we have soon, sooner, soonest. Soon just has one syllable, it's soon, once adding er and est. So if the adverb is one syllable, take note that you add er and you add est. All right, so moving on, we have for adverbs that have more than one syllable. So if it has more than one syllable, you can add more to make adverb and most to make superlative. So if it has more than one syllable, for words that have more than one syllable. Alright? So we have the base over here, we have comparative superlative. So we have safely. Now safely has what? Two syllables. So of course you can say safely, most safely. Alright, so this is what the comparative and superlative adverbs are all about. Okay, and then moving on, for the adverb early, you can see that early ends with Y, right? So you can drop the Y and add IER to make comparative and IEST to make superlative. So most of the adverb that end with Y, you would drop the Y and make it I and then add either the comparative sign or the superlative. Okay. All right, let's look at some examples. Okay. So we have complete the sentence with the correct form of the adverb. Frank dash come up with jokes the dash of all the boys. So Frank what? What would be the right one? Okay. So we have the sentence compares how Frank comes up with jokes and how the other boys come up with jokes, right? So more than two actions are compared. So use the superlative most easily because you can see that it's comparing between um Frank and then more than one boy. So it's the boys. So they're like maybe two, three, four and above. So you would use superlative. Tina smiled dash than her friend Nicole did. Now you can see that Tina is being compared with her friend Nicole. So it's just two, right? So you would say what? More happily because it's comparing just two people. Remember that for comparative, it's just between two and you would use more. The light shines dash than the kitchen light. So it's comparing between the hall light and the kitchen, just two light, okay? So we have what? Brighter. All right, that's it for our adverbs that compare. We'll move on to the test. You can share your answers with me if you know them. Johnny ran the dash of all his classmates. Fastest or faster? What will be the right answer here? So Johnny ran the fastest of all his classmates. You can see that it's comparing Johnny and all his classmates. So he could have 20 classmates, 30, we do not know. Okay? So Carly complained dash that Brand all about the late train. So Carly complained dash than Brand about the late train. So just between Carly and Brad. So is it more angrily or most angrily? Okay, so Carly complained more angrily than Brad about the late train. Stacy spoke the dash of all the students in the class most shyly or more shyly. Alright, so we have most shyly because it's referring to like the whole classmates. So, okay. Now look, dash, and you'll be able to see the hidden answer. Look closest or closer. Which one? All right, so we have look closer. Okay. Of all the plants in our garden, the tomato plant grows the dash slowest or slower. All right, the slowest, we have slowest because there's more than one plant in the garden. Katie sang Dash last night than the night before, more beautifully or most beautifully. All right, so more beautifully. I have known Cole the dash of all my friends, the longer, the longest, which of them? Alright, so we have the longest. So Tara tries Dash at spelling than Zach does. Harder or hardest? So we have Heather. Okay. Of all the boys, Sam spoke out Dash against the plan. More strongly or most strongly? Which of them? Okay, so we have what? Spoke out most strongly against the plan. Mr. Johnson arrived dash than Mr. Bowen. Latest or later? Okay, so we have later. Our flight leaves dash than we thought. Soonest or sooner. Alright, so sooner or soonest? Sooner. Mr. Vega drove the dash of all the race cars drivers, though more rapidly or most rapidly. Okay, so most rapidly. Alright, so Susan sang Dash than Matthew in the class play. Louder, loudest. Okay, so sang louder than Matthew in the class played. The puppies are sitting up dash than usual, straighter or straighter. What is the right one here? Alright, so the puppies are sitting straighter than usual. Okay, that's it for our lesson on the adverbs that compare. Can you tell me if you have any questions? What's your question if you have a question? Do you have any question, Izzy, or not? All right, then, since you have no questions, we will end here. Try to complete this lesson if you haven't done it. Have a good weekend. See you all next week. Bye, everyone.